This is how to complete every Cold War Zombies boss fight easily on solo. In this video, I will have certain layouts and class setups that I highly recommend that you guys use. And I also have some tips for the hardest boss fights in Cold War Zombies that I will go more in depth with later on in this video. So if you're having any trouble with any boss fight in Cold War Zombies, watch this video and hopefully I can help you out. If this video does help you complete any boss fight that you weren't able to previously, do me a favor and drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below what boss fight you were having trouble with and what strategy that you guys actually used to complete it. This has been a pretty long intro, so with that being said, let's jump straight into the video. The chapters for each boss fight will be down below in the description as well as on the video itself, but I highly recommend that everybody watching this video at least watches the beginning of the first boss fight to understand how these class setups will work. And with that being said, let's jump straight into the first out of the 6 boss fights in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, which is Maschine. For all of the strategies mentioned in this video, you'll need everything I mentioned to be tier 5 to make this as easy as possible. For this video, I will be carrying over my same format as my boss fight video from Black Ops 3. For all of these class setups, they will work as follows. There's your 2 weapons, which unless I say otherwise, should be triple pack-a-punch for the easiest time with these boss fights. Also, the outline around the weapons indicates what rarity they need to be. Not every weapon needs to be maxed out, but it'll certainly help. There's 3 perks on screen besides Jug because obviously you're always going to want to get Jug. That's something that you should get every game. But the 3 other perks are the 3 that you'll want the most. There's your lethal and tactical grenades, which you can pick either option that are listed. And last but not least, at the bottom there's your AATs, your score streak, and your field upgrade. For whatever boss fight that you're having trouble completing, follow the class setup that I give as close as you can. So for Maschine, your main weapon is going to be the Electro Bolt variant of the D Shockwave. And for your secondary, I would recommend using the Gallo, but whatever weapon that you end up using, make sure that you put turned on it. For your perks, you want at least Juggernog, Quick Revive, and Stamina Up. And if you want to, you can also get Elemental Pop. For your tactical equipment, you want to bring either decoys or the LT-53 Casimir Portal. And for your lethal equipment, you should bring either C4s or Semtexes. For your score streak, you want to bring either a Death Machine or a Flamethrower, but I would say bring a Death Machine. And finally, you want to run Ether Shroud as your field upgrade. When you get all of this, grab the picture to be teleported into the boss fight. Now, this boss fight is not difficult. All you have to do is stay alive and kill a few zombies that attack Orlov. So when the cutscene is over and the lights come back on, you just want to train around the top. But every time that you get the chance to, and you're going to want to do this for every boss fight in this game, you want to turn a zombie with Brain Rot, and the zombie will help with crowd control. And when there's a lot of bosses, pull out your Electro Bolt and kill all the Megatons and Mayax. There's 3 phases to this boss fight, so just keep track of how many generators Orlov has repaired or whatever he does to them, and make sure that you don't trap yourself into a corner. The best way to do so is to just turn around the giant ring in the center of the room. Occasionally, zombies will mess up your path, so if you see that that's about to happen, if you're on the ring, drop down and walk the zombies to the platform and continue as normal. And if you're on the platform itself, try out the small staircase next to Elemental Pop, then when the zombies are getting close to you, mantle over the guardrail and get back to the normal training spot. Also, make sure you repair your armor when it breaks. When he's finished with the 3rd and final generator, the screen will flash white. Then it's time for the escape sequence. Follow the route I'm taking in this video and you will be safe. If you get overwhelmed, just pop Ether Shroud and continue on. When you get to the pond, wait for the prompt to board the helicopter, and congratulations, you have completed the Maschine Easter egg. And with that being said, let's move on to the next boss fight, which is Firebase Z. For Firebase Z, you want to run the class as follows. For your main weapon, or should I say your only weapon, you want to bring the RPG. At the very least, you want your RPG to be triple pack-a-punched and at least blue rarity. I'd go with purple or gold just to be safe, but as long as it's blue or higher, you'll be okay. For your perks, you want Juggernog, Quick Revive, and if you have some spare points, it won't hurt you to buy Elemental Pop as well. For your equipment, you don't have to bring any, but if you want to, you can bring either decoys or Gersh devices for your tactical equipment, and for your lethal equipment, you want to bring either C4s or Semtexes. You also want to bring a cruise missile as your score streak, and you want to bring Ring of Fire as your field upgrade. When you get all of that, do the rocket step, then go to the boss fight. As soon as you load into boss fight, run to the side as you see me do here so the Orda can't insta-kill you, then pop your Ring of Fire and spray the Orda with your RPG until he's dead. All in all, this boss fight takes around like 5 seconds to complete with this strategy because the RPG cheeses this boss fight so much. If you were having trouble with the Firebase Z boss fight before watching this video, and you beat it because of this strategy, let me know down below in the comments. And with that being said, let's move on to the next boss fight, which I would say is the hardest boss fight in Cold War Zombies, which is the Legion boss fight. For the Legion boss fight, this is what you want to bring. For your main weapon, you want to run either the M16 or the Gallo. There's 2 different ways to beat this boss fight, but regardless of which way you choose to complete it, I would bring both in this boss fight. They don't both have to be maxed out, but at least one of them has to be. Whichever weapon you decide to max out, make sure you put turned on that weapon and then put dead wire on whatever weapon you don't have maxed out. If you don't want to run a normal weapon as your secondary, you could also run the upgraded D Shockwave. For your perks, bring as many as you can, but you at least want to have Juggernog, Stamina Up, Quick Revive, PhD, Mule Kick, and Elemental Pop for this boss fight. This is the hardest boss fight in the game, so you'll want to go all out for this. For your lethal equipment, you either want to bring C4s or Semtexes, and for your tactical equipment, you want to bring either decoy grenades or Gersh devices. The choice is up to you, but I would definitely recommend running Gersh devices over decoy grenades if you can. You want to bring a War Machine as your score streak, and last but not least, you want to bring Ether Shroud as your field upgrade. Every time I say that, people get mad and they say that Frenzy Guard is better, but I don't think that's true. With Ether Shroud, you get 2 activations, whereas with Frenzy Guard, you only get 1. It takes 25 less kills to charge Ether Shroud than it does to charge Frenzy Guard, and the enemies can't attack you when you pop Ether Shroud for when you go to take out one of the Legion's orb. Now, with that being said, you might be wondering, how do I get armor then? And to answer that, I say you get more armor by activating your AATs as often as possible. Make sure, no matter what, that you always use turned on a boss zombie, preferably a Mimic. He will help with crowd control so the zombies are doing less damage. He will take out the other boss enemies, which have a chance of dropping armor plates and armor vests, and when he dies, he will turn 3 nearby enemies that will do the same thing that the Mimic did. All you have to do is turn a boss enemy and pay attention to what drops when he kills the other enemies. Okay. After 2 minutes of explaining the class setup, let's begin. I'm going to first explain the Gallo strat and then the M16 strat. For the Gallo, you only want to shoot the Legion whenever he's not in a corner of the boss fight arena. Think of it like this. If he's above one of the giant crystals, do not go after him. You have 8.5 minutes to take him out. You have plenty of time. Alright, this is Jolts from the future, and it turns out that with Forsaken's release, they apparently added an additional minute to the timer because now you have 10 minutes to take out the Legion boss. It's definitely a lot easier now. I just wanted to say that while I was editing this video. Now let's go back to your regularly scheduled programming. Take your time. When he's above one of the crystals, focus on crowd control. To make sure that you're not getting overwhelmed with enemies, turn a Mimic with Brain Rot and kill all the Plague Hounds in sight. When he teleports to an area to where you can get to him, get as close and as high as you can to him and spray his chest. As soon as you break his armor, look at the ground directly below you and pop Ether Shroud. At this point, 3 orbs will fly out of him. You have to take out all 3 orbs to beat the boss. Now, as long as you don't have horrible aim, you should have more than enough time to take out 1 orb and get some extra damage on a 2nd orb. When the orbs return to his body and he starts teleporting again, start working on another charge for your Ether Shroud. You need at least 1 more. Again, while you're waiting for him to get to an area to where you can hit him, make sure that you're activating your AATs as often as possible, especially Brain Rot. When he's in an area that you can hit him, get on the tallest thing closest to him and shoot his chest to break his armor again, and when you break his armor, destroy another orb. Do what I mentioned for a 3rd and final time until you complete this boss fight. Now for the M16 route, get on the building you come out of and wait for him to spawn. When he spawns, spam his chest with the M16. Zombies do not spawn until the first time that he teleports, so don't worry about any enemies attacking you. Do the same thing that I said for the Gallo strat, except for the M16 you can shoot him anywhere. But as always, make sure that you're activating your AATs as often as possible. I know I'm saying this a lot in this tutorial, but it's because it is that important that you keep activating turned to make sure that you're not getting overwhelmed with zombies. When you break the Legion's armor, pop your Ether Shroud and take out one of his orbs. Do this strategy 2 more times and congratulations, you have completed what I consider to be the hardest boss fight in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, the Legion boss fight. Now, let's move on to Outbreak's 2nd Easter egg boss fight. For the 2nd Outbreak Easter egg, This boss fight is nowhere near as hard as the first boss fight. For this boss fight, all you need is the M16, of course maxed out with Brain Rot. For perks, bring Juggernog, Quick Revive, Stamina Up, and Elemental Pop. For lethal grenades, bring C4s or Semtexes, and for tacticals, bring Gersh devices. You want to bring either a Death Machine or a War Machine as your score streak. And last but not least, you want to run Ether Shroud as your field upgrade. You could bring Ring of Fire, but that's ultimately up to you. Since this Orda can move and his ground attacks are extremely powerful, I prefer running Ether Shroud so I can pop it if I notice that I'm too close to him and he's about to do a ground attack. When the radio finishes, jump down to the exfil site and just kill everything. Throw a Gersh device down to kill the normal zombies and just go to town on the Orda. When you kill the Orda, board the helicopter and you will have completed this boss fight. Now let's move on to the next boss fight, a round-based map, which is Mauer der Toten. For Mauer der Toten, your loadout is pretty simple. This strategy revolves around just absolutely abusing Ring of Fire with your Cerberus Wonder Weapon. So obviously, with that being said, you're going to want your main weapon to be the Cerberus. Of course, you want it to be triple Pack-a-Punch, maxed out all the way. And for your secondary weapon, you can pretty much bring whatever you want, but make sure that you have Turned on it. You'll be using Turned on the boss enemies to help get rid of the zombies in the play area. For perks, you want Juggernog, Quick Revive, Stamina Up, and Deadshot Daiquiri. Additionally, you can also grab Death Perception, Elemental Pop, PhD Slider, and Speed Cola. For your lethals, you want to bring C4s or Semtexes, and for your tacticals, you want to bring either decoy grenades or Gersh devices. For your score streak, you either want to run the Death Machine, the War Machine, or the Flamethrower. And as I previously mentioned, you want your field upgrade to be Ring of Fire. Once you're fully upgraded and ready to go into the boss fight, do the second Ethereum Crystal step and start the boss fight. When Valentina first spawns in, pop your Ring of Fire and spray the Cerberus at her. When you do this, you'll come to find out that you absolutely melt her with the Ring of Fire and Cerberus. Not only that, but almost none of her attacks can actually connect with you. Keep in mind that if you don't finish the phase before Ring of Fire goes out, turn an enemy with Brain Rot to help with crowd control and to try to get Ring of Fire back faster to finish the phase. When she gets the red orb around her while you're shooting at her, she'll move to the next phase. At this point, kill every zombie in sight. You want to get Ring of Fire recharged as soon as possible. To charge your Ring of Fire, you're going to roughly need 35 kills each time. After each phase, make sure that you buy ammo for your Wonder Weapon, make sure you buy armor, restock your equipment and score streaks if you have to, then go to the next phase. Keep in mind that you only have around a minute before she automatically teleports you to the next fight. So you gotta be quick in between phases to make sure that you grab everything that you'll need for the next phase. For the second fight, make sure that you have Ring of Fire charged and do the same thing as the first phase. If you don't have Ring of Fire charged, pull out that secondary weapon and turn a zombie with it and get kills with the Cerberus until you have it charged. Also, make sure you're paying attention to her attacks as well. When you get Ring of Fire charged, throw down a decoy grenade or a Gersh device, then pop your Ring of Fire and shoot Valentina with your Cerberus until she has the red orb around her again. After a couple seconds of the red orb being around her, she will teleport to the third phase. Just like I said in between phases 1 and 2, before you go to the third phase of this boss fight, make sure you buy your armor and equipment back if you're running low. Also, make sure you buy ammo for your Cerberus Wonder Weapon if you're running low on that as well. On the third phase, do not automatically pop Ring of Fire yet. She will most likely do her wipe attack as the first attack in the third phase. So as soon as you start the third phase, get behind cover and wait for the wipe attack to finish. When the wipe attack is done, pop your Ring of Fire and shoot your Cerberus at her until she has the red orb around her again. When the phase is over and you can leave the area, grab more armor and equipment. This strategy is pretty much the same for the last two phases, so just do the same thing for the last two phases that I told you to for the first three phases, and when you kill her on the fifth and final phase, congratulations, you will have successfully completed the Valentina boss fight. Now, let's move on to the last boss fight in this game, Forsaken. And for the sixth and final boss fight, we have the Forsaken boss fight. For this class setup, all you basically need is the Wonder Weapon, the Chrysalix, triple Pack-a-Punched. And just like always, you want to bring a secondary weapon with Turned on it. It really doesn't matter what rarity it is, as long as it has Turned on it. For your perks, you want to bring Juggernog, Stamina Up, Quick Revive, and Speed Cola. For your lethal equipment, you want to bring C4s, and for your tactical equipment, you want to bring either Gersh devices or decoys. For your score streak, you want to bring either a Death Machine or a War Machine, and for your field upgrade, you want to bring Ether Shroud. Additionally, for this strategy in specific, you want to have your melee class in the skills section for zombies to be tier 5. When you load into the boss fight, put your wonder weapon into gun mode and destroy the 2 crystals on each one of the Forsaken shoulders. Then put your wonder weapon into scythe mode and go underneath Sam and melee every zombie that goes in the circle until she charges both turrets. When she charges both, hop on whichever one you want to and take out one of his shoulders, and then hop on the other turret to take out his other shoulder. Also, make sure that you're being accurate with these turrets because you don't have that much time on them before they kick you off. So make sure that you're focusing on his shoulders or his chest or his head or whatever crystals you have to destroy for that phase of the boss fight. If you don't take out his exposed area, he will replenish all of his health. After you take out both shoulders, you will be teleported to a black area with Weaver, Gray, Strauss, and Carver all up against the wall, and the wall says no one escapes alive. When he teleports you back, he will show 2 new attacks. The first one is a laser beam that absolutely melts your health. So when you see him charging up for the laser attack, stay on the run at all times. The second attack he will bring out is a couple of red orbs that just go around the map. These things can't really hurt you, but just keep your distance from them, and after around 5 seconds or so, they will disappear. Now feed souls to Sam again so she can charge up both turrets, then put your wonder weapon in gun mode to take out the crystal on his stomach. Once you do that, hop on a turret and shoot his stomach until you complete that phase. And for the third and final phase, he will spawn in an abomination, so just be wary of that. When you're on the third phase, put your wonder weapon into gun mode and take out the crystal on his head. Once you do that, hop on a turret that Sam already charged for you since he charged both during the second phase and shoot his head until you kill him. After his health bar goes away, he will spawn in a bunch of crystals that will damage you and you can go down by them, so just keep knifing all the zombies with your tier 5 melee, and after around 5 or 10 seconds or so, a cutscene will play and congratulations, you have successfully completed the Forsaken boss fight as well as every other boss fight in Black Ops Cold War Zombies. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you are new. Were you able to use one of these strategies mentioned in this video to help you complete one of the boss fights you were having trouble with? Let me know down below in the comments. Like I said at the beginning of the video guys, if you guys are still having trouble and what I said in this video wasn't able to help you, leave a comment down below and I will try to help you out even further. Huge shout out to B-Rad Demand for becoming a sponsor. If you guys want to become a sponsor and you guys want to be shouted out at the end of every video and get a follow on Twitter as well as a few other perks, click the link down below in the description or click the join button below this video. Make sure you check out the videos on the end screen, and with that being said, this is Jolts signing out. Peace!